My name is Aaron Huey.
Freeman.
Joshua Freeman.
We rehearsed that.
Okay. What? Dang it. Phil, start it over. We're talking about people who speak in your life.
Yeah.
Your life.
mate.
Your life, mate. Alright, here we go. This is Chasing Opportunity. Welcome back. I'm Aaron. Joshua Freeman, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Anyway, today we're going to be talking about something that is very, very applicable to everyone. Because it's something that everyone has, and that's friends.
Or maybe you don't have any.
That would be sad.
Yeah.
And I hope that's not you. Because you should have friends. Because you're special.
Well said. All right.
Title. Alright, so let's call this Who Are Your Friends? And, okay, well, what do we mean by friends, Josh? Do we actually mean, like, you know, your Facebook friends, someone who's just, you know, I see them every other day, right. I'm really close with them? Are we talking about family? What are we talking about?
So when we're saying
Let's
the word...
define this word.
Yeah, when we're saying the word friend, if you claim to have 50 friends, you don't. Okay, under this definition, our definition of friends, it's somebody who has dramatic influence and impact on your life. So, Aaron, how many friends do you have?
Maybe two or three.
2 or 3. Okay, I have less than 5 friends. And the way I like to think about it are these guys, these friends, could be women, but all of these friends I have would 100% be in my wedding. Okay, it seems a little silly, but I wouldn't even have to think about who my groomsmen would be, because I know these guys are such close friends that
I'm one of those guys, right? I'm the best man, right?
You could be ring bearer, maybe.
I'll take it.
Okay. But you can see my point, that these are the people that have such impact and such a give and take relationship that we're calling these people the friends. We're not calling the acquaintances, the 50 people you see a month, your friends. We're calling them acquaintances.
So probably like a key word for this, or a word to sum it all up, would be influence, right? Like the friends that influence you, people who, you know, who are speaking into your life and whatnot. One of my good quote by Jim Rohn. If you don't know who he is, he's one of the most well-known business coaches and keynote speakers of the century. Really, he said, "You are the average of your 5 closest friends." And right on with that, one of my favorite quotes is, "You are who you hang out with." And that's so true. You know, if these people were close friends, the kind of friends that we're talking about, influence you. They shape your perspective on life. You know, if you're hanging out with friends who they're completely obsessed with, you know, their jobs, they're workaholics. That's what's going to seem as right. That's what's going to feel right, because you're in that environment. You're in that culture. America has a culture, like the country at large has a culture. You know, there's the rat race. You go to college, you get a good job, you make money, you go vacation, you get married, whatever. That's kind of what we've defined as right in America. But that's only culture. You know, same thing with your friend group. You know, if you're a group of 4 or 5 friends. And by the way, it should be probably 2, 3, 4, or 5.
Less than 5.
You don't want lots of people in this close friend group. That's going to be the culture that you live in. So perspective, big thing on that. And then a good question to ask yourself is, you're going to jump in? Go ahead.
I was just going to interject and say, it may sound like parents right now. Like you've heard from your mom and your dad. Like, oh, you need to choose your friends wisely. Be careful who you hang around. Like, don't hang around that individual because he's involved in some bad, shady behavior. And the reason they're telling you that, and you realize now, is because if those were the people you did hang around with, and maybe you ended up hanging around with them, you would see that they would have shaped your life.
And that makes sense. That's like the extreme, though.
It is.
We're talking about like, okay, so this group of friends here have these kind of goals in life, or maybe they don't have any goals in life, which is even worse. Are those the goals that you have? Is that the kind of lifestyle you want? So same idea, right?
A lesser degree of that.
Sure.
But it's just as important because you don't want to be hanging out with people that are gonna.
So a good question to ask, and I'm throwing it over to you first, or a good question to ask yourself is, when you're around these people, when you're around your close friends, and do you ever say to yourself, "Wow, what an amazing group of people I'm with"? And if you don't, then you're probably hurting yourself. And amazing is a very subjective word. You know, your goals are very different from mine or Josh's. Maybe they're the same. Who knows? But if your friends are not in that, they're not sharing that vision, you're hurting yourself.
Yeah. And that's something that leads me right into the story. When I was about a freshman in high school, and I know, Aaron, we've talked and you have a really similar story, but when I was about a freshman in high school is when I really came to the realization that the individuals I was hanging around didn't have the values, beliefs, and motivations that I wanted for my life. And that makes it next to impossible to ever achieve that.
Mm-hmm.
So I realized
because of the influence.
exactly,
Right.
because you're the average of your 5 friends. So if all of them are,
Yep.
so if all of them are, low numbers, how can you expect to be that much greater? So I realized pretty quickly what I had to do. I had to sort of reformat the individuals I hung around. And as we previously stated, they weren't necessarily bad people. They weren't those people that your parents would tell you, don't hang out with them, they're doing drugs and shady material. That's not it. It's just people that don't align with your values, your beliefs, and your motivations, or the ones that you are looking for in the future. Yeah. So I found pretty quickly that in order to make myself better, for lack of a better word, is change the people I hang out with.
For sure, yeah.
My friends.
Yeah, similar story. I was preoccupied with writing. I don't know why that was so difficult for me. Anyway, but yeah, that was kind of the same thing. I think it was junior year of high school where I realized that the people I was hanging out with, I loved them to death. We had lots of fun. But I could see past that brief time in high school. And I could be like, okay, if I'm friends with these people for the rest of my life, I'm not going to be where I want to be. Right. It's just plain as day. Which is sad in some ways, but it's also good in other ways because you realize, okay, there's other people you can make friends with who spur you on to become that person. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to talk now about the benefits of choosing. So right now we're going to focus on the negative. You're the average. You don't want to become these people. But the benefits, you want to do different colors?
Yep.
Benefits are actually, held to higher standards. You're being held to higher standards. So if you are, say you want to be very wealthy one day, which who doesn't? I mean, money is one of the greatest tools you have to become something to make your goals and a reality. If you want to be wealthy, you're hanging out with 5 millionaires. Chances are you're going to be learning things to help you become the 6th millionaire. They hold you to those higher standards. Fitness is a good example too. If you're only pushing 5 reps on the bench and everyone else is doing 15, you're gonna kind of feel that pressure to, up your game a little bit.
Exactly.
And then another benefit actually is the same as this one, which is kind of what we just said, right?
Yes, and that makes you. The benefit is it doesn't have to be a negative that you're just the average of the friends you hang around. I mean, use that as such leverage. Like it's such a tool. I'm so ecstatic. I'm almost privileged when I think about it. The 5 friends I have, that I get to be the average of those 5 friends because I hold them to such high regard that I think it's great that I'm totally okay with being the average of my 5 friends.
Right. So these are the benefits of, and even that one. So that's fantastic. It's just by changing that, you're changing your whole outlook. Because friends, they kind of determine your outlook, how you see the world, and your behavior, what you actually do. And so
let's talk about application.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay,
right?
Yeah, I will actually.
You right? You go ahead.
All right. Okay. A really easy way to do this, and I'll let Aaron preface it with being objective as I write. But a really easy way to do this is to rate your friends. So explain that a little more.
As cynical and dirty and evil as that sounds, you got to do it. It's something that, and we're talking about. Remember the friends that are the close friends. That's what we mean by friends. People who speak into your life, who would influence you, who you're going to be the average of, you need to rate them. And you got to be objective with this because you can't be like, oh, I like this person more, I like this person more, I really like it. It's like, okay, how is a relationship helping your life and helping their lives too?
You want to rate, you could do their values, their morals. We'll do a really easy one. That's, for me, something that matters a lot is health and wellness.
Sure.
So, okay, friend 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, or however many you would have. You would rate, okay, friend 1, his values on health and wellness are a 2, but this one's a 9, this one's a 7, this one's a 8, and this one I think is a 10. All right, and you average that out and say, well, it looks to me like I'm the average of that number. You can do it with things like spirituality and like wellness in that sense, and you can find, how do you grow in your spirituality and your theology and understanding of the Bible, if that's what you're reading. And you're going to find pretty quickly, in order to increase that, these numbers have to increase. Your friend numbers need to increase.
Right. So I think, what should we say? Rate your friends. Is a good way to
Yep.
say it. So, yeah, I'll just erase what we put down here. Rate your friends. So yeah, be objective with it. Be hard. I wouldn't post this to Facebook how you're
No.
rating your closest friends. But it's something pretty important to do. And it's a pro. It's also a con too. Like if you're thinking, okay, this guy, on the scale of 1 to 10 on how well how generous he is. That's a value that I would like to have more of in my life. How generous are the friends I'm with? Because that influences me. On a scale of 1 to 10, this guy's a 3. Friend number 2, this guy's he's a 6. Friend number 3, this guy's a 6 too. You average that out, you're a 5. So that's not very high. So maybe you want to look for more friends who have a higher priority on being generous in life. So rating your friends is how to actually apply this.
And it's an important point to mention that this doesn't mean you can only hang out with people that are going to give you something. Okay, we're talking about friends in the way we define it. You're completely allowed to have as many acquaintances as you'd like.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can have acquaintances you meet at the bar, acquaintances you meet at the coffee shop, acquaintances you meet at your school, and it's okay to hang out with them every once in a while. Yeah. But these friends, be very intentional about.
And they should know that you're this is how you think as well, because it's and they should be doing the same thing. They probably are if they're holding you to higher standards.
Yeah.
But we talked in one of our other talks on living to serve. Like ultimately, your life should not be about you and everything that you can get for yourself. The greatest gratification, really, I believe, comes from serving other people. Others. So and that's different. That's acquaintances. And
this tool, Rate Your Friends, can help you do that. Aaron did a great point about how generous they are. Okay, yeah, it sounds a little bit self-serving, like, oh, I need to rate my friends because I want to get better. But you want to get better at what? Being generous. I mean, what a great tool to use in order to be more effective in your community, world.
Yeah, absolutely. So, full circle?
Yeah, full circle.
Woo!
All right, that's it. That's a full circle. No. So we talked about who are your friends. We defined friends, or
how many should they have?
Right, less than 5 is my belief. So find the friends that you have under this definition, and you'd find like the influence in that you're the average of your friends, and the benefits are high standard,
and the fact that you are the
average, and then use this cool little tool to rate and find things you need to improve on. Maybe it's time to reevaluate the friends you're around. So really great tool. In order to improve your efficiency on life.
I think I'm going to rate you right now, Josh.
Okay.
Everything on a scale of 1 to 10.
Okay.
I'll post it all so you guys can see how we think of Josh.
Till next time. We'll see you.